Hey, everyone. Welcome. So, I am so excited for today's session and um, welcome back to the Inner Edge Live Weekly, where we're here to help you lead stronger through emotional intelligence and build workplace cultures that actually feel good to grow, right? And so I am Nikki, and today's session is one every leader needs, right? And it is called the Visionary Leader: Emotional Intelligent Roadmaps that Turn Vision into Results. Okay. So, first things first is I want to ask you a question. Do you have a vision in your head, right? Like a vision of how you want your team to be ran, but you feel stuck, right? When it's time to communicate it, execute it, or even maybe get the team to really just rally around it and get things moving and flowing. Understand that you are not alone. Okay. And so, vision without clarity, it just turns into pressure. Vision without buy in from your team becomes burnout because you keep trying to get everyone on the same page and it just doesn't work. Right. And so, today we're here to fix that. Right. And so, I want you to understand that vision gets you excited, but emotional intelligence help you communicate clearly, calmly, and in a way that others want to follow you. We have a specific way within EI Ready that we actually use to help leaders be able to employ and put in place the vision that they have for the organization or for their team, right? Because where there is no emotional connection, there is no shared leadership, right? And so we're going to go ahead and fix that today. We're going to start with what's called a four-part roadmap, right? It ties vision to action through emotionally intelligent leadership. And so, first things first is we're going to do step one. We're going to clarify with emotional precision, right? Great visions aren't just big, they're clear and they connect emotionally, and you want your team to feel your vision, not just hear in a meeting, right? So here's a prompt that I want you to go ahead and write down and actually implement today, okay? So you're going to put my vision is to blank, right? So that blank. My vision is to blank, write in whatever it is that you have for your vision for your organization, so that blank. And I'm going to give you an example. So, my vision is to create a workplace where emotional intelligence drives performance, so that our team feels valued, connected, and motivated every day. Right? So now you're going to make your own one sentence, whatever it is. Then you're going to make it feel like a mission worth following, right? And then you're just going to write that down. And maybe you start leading your meetings with it so that it can get embedded with the organization. And now, step two, you're going to set emotional intelligent goals. Yes, I know what you're thinking. You need SMART goals, right? But you also need to ask, how will this goal energize my team? Right? So, like we always talk about, this is your SMART goals, and this is what the acronym means, and this is how you set SMART goals. But what part of that actually connects with your team? You don't just want to ramble off with the list, right? You don't want to just assign a goal. You want to explain why it matters. You want to explain what success looks like with those SMART goals. Paint a vision, right? And then you also want to share how it connects with something that they care about. Now, there's different type of personalities. There are those individuals that you can go through the list and share the SMART goals, and they'll pick it up, they'll go implement, and they'll run with it. But then you have some people that are emotional connectors, and they have to understand the reason why of the thing, right? And so they have to understand those different pieces. And so understand that um, you can reduce conflicts by 20%, right? Or I'm sorry, let me give you an example. So instead of saying, let's reduce conflicts by 20%, right? You're going to say something like, let's create an environment where more than 50 or more, or where 50 or more team members or team interactions this quarter feel supported, feel supportive instead of stressful. Not it's just a goal with the heart, right? So here's the thing. I literally was just writing in my journal how freeing it feels to be able to not have so many tabs, not be required to have so many tabs. It's been fun going through, like clicking through them, knowing that, I have a team that is now taking care of these things. Yes, I have to go back and kind of oversee and make sure that things are done just as a checking off thing, but it's no longer something that I have to keep on the radar in the back of my mind to remember to actually make sure that it gets completed, or I have to like go through everything, right? And so you want to be able to lead from a standpoint of where you're not having to touch every single thing, right? It gets draining. I just shared a post on Facebook of how fun, right, business feels again, and that's how it should feel with you running your business within your team. And then step 3, you're gonna align people, roles, and energy, right? You don't need everyone doing more. You need everyone doing the right things with purpose. So I'm going to give you an example. I have an office that I've been helping there in the insurance space, and they have the wrong people aligned, right? And so one of our core values within EI Ready is alignment before assignment, right? And so we wanted to make sure that the correct roles were actually aligned with those individuals. And so with that, there's a specific way that we do it with our framework. And we were able to find people who have enjoyment, right? So you don't want someone who is part of sales and outreach, right? And they're terrified of people, right? They may not thrive in that role. And so I want you to ask yourself, who's best suited for this initiative, right? Not just skill wise, but emotionally, right? And then also, who needs more clarity, right? And then who needs to feel more connected? Son, I need you to close the door. I'm recording, please. No, I need you to go out and go. I'm not going to repeat myself. Go and close the door, please. I'm almost done. Okay. All right. So, who needs more clarity? Who needs to feel more connected? Close my door, son. Who needs to feel more connected? Then you want to realign emotional intelligence, right? And say, I see you, I hear you, I trust you. So that's what emotional intelligence tells your team, right? It's not just you throwing a task at them, but do you actually see them? Do you actually appreciate their value? And then that's how you build a team that moves with you instead of against you. So we went through the first 3 steps, right? I'm going to go ahead and recap before we get into step 4. So step 1, we talked about how to clarify vision with emotional precision, right? And then we talked about, writing out your vision statement. You can go back and watch the recording if you missed it. And by the way, if you're here, say hey. And if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay and let me know that you actually watched this, okay? And then step 2, you're going to set emotional intelligent goals, right? And then step 3, you're going to align the people, roles, and energy together. So write it out and see what that looks like. Now, step 4 is going to be to execute, which is the most important thing. Execute, reflect, and adjust, right? It's called the ERA, right? So the ERA, you're going to execute, reflect, and adjust. This is where your roadmap that you wrote out becomes real. And this is also where you're able to track your metrics to see how you're successful. But you can also track your energy. Are people engaged? Or are they just complying and just checking off a list and just saying, yeah, good job, Samantha. Thank you for this, right? Like, are they actually excited? Are they actually in the task, right? And is a plan clear or is it confusing? Be honest with yourself. Is this something that Anyone can take this, like a 5-year-old can take this and be able to implement this and understand it and connect with it, right? And then also, too, what needs to be adjusted emotionally, not just operationally, but how can you tie the task with individuals so that they are emotionally connected to the task and they're excited about completing it, right? Real leaders don't just review numbers. Let's just face it, right? They read the room and they shift accordingly. I always consider myself as a chameleon because I am very, very good with adjusting to the room and adjusting to what someone needs and meeting them where they're at. That's what emotional intelligence is. So here's a real story, right? A client of mine had a vision to transform her team with team culture within 18 months. The plan was solid, but her team was just so exhausted. Like they had a really big goal that they wanted to accomplish, but they were tired. And so we actually paused, right? We paused and we stopped the push and we rebuilt the roadmap. It's okay when you're in the middle of, executing your goals and you identify that it's not working for your team, because the last thing you want is for them to be burnt out. And this is where you get your team involved, right? So we got her team involved, we got her team's buy-in. And the cool thing is that the more that we got their buy-in, the more than that we included them, the more excited they were to actually complete the task. I often think about, when I take my kid grocery shopping with me, right? And we come home, we bring home the goodies. He's picked out different colors, fruits, and different things, right? And he's cutting them up with me, and then he eats them. He may even engage in something that he liked, or I'm sorry, something that he didn't like that he now likes. And it's because he's invested. He was invested in the experience. He was invested in what the day to day, or what each task was, right? Leading up to the meal. He's usually more excited than just, you know, because it's macaroni and cheese, right? He's excited even if it's vegetables. And so that is where we help people. And so this team adjusted their pace, right? When we found out that the roadmap wasn't working, we got the team involved. We shared input, right? We got them all to hear, yeah, we got to hear their voices and got emotionally invested, right? And not only did she hit her culture goal, her retention rate went up. Her team was excited and she finally was able to breathe. And so what happens is when your retention rate goes up with your clientele, or even your closing rate, right? And with your clients, because they're having a better client experience, that now raises the bar of where you're going to start in Q1, right? That way you're not constantly starting over with whatever product or service that your company is selling or offering for your clients. Your clients are also excited because they feel it. And so here are some common challenges, right, that I have noticed, right? Have you ever tried to lead a strategy and your team just totally just felt disconnected? That's because they weren't a part of it. And so you want to fix it with a 3-step reset, right? So let's say you start going through your 4-part, there's a 3-part step reset. Once you're going through this and you identify that you need to change, that we actually do. So, first things first is you reshare. You reshare the vision in, I like to say human language, right? So, humanizing the task where it connects. Step two is going to be the ask. What would make this easier or exciting for you? Getting their feedback, right? Good marketers are really, really good because they're great at getting the feedback from the buyers. And the same thing applies when it comes to your team, your organization. Get their buy-in. What would make this easier for you or exciting? And then 3, align the goals with their feedback. Great marketers, they take that feedback and they feed it back out to the people, right? Maybe a competitor does it this way, and so you do it this way, and you start using that language and using that feedback into getting new clients. right? So just giving you an example of how you can use that within your team as well. And then people support what they help create. People support with what they help create. And so here's your move for the next 7 days. You're going to rewrite your one vision statement that I gave you. You're going to create an inspiring sentence that you can actually wake up every day, feel confident, and start saying every day. And maybe you start implementing it depending on your role in your organization, where you are actually saying it every day in your meetings. And so that it becomes a center of attention. Then you're going to set 3 goals your team can emotionally connect with. And then you'll host a 30-minute alignment session. No pitch, no pressure, just real talk about where you're going and what it means for them. Now, if you're ready to turn your vision into an emotionally intelligent growth plan, take our take time out to come to our info session after this. And it is designed for leaders just like you who want results and connection. And if you're ready to explore systematic team transformation, you want to make sure that you dive in deeper and connect with us so that we can help you with creating lasting change with your organization. And so, right after this session, we actually have an info session. It is at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday. If for whatever reason you're not able to be available tonight, you can check our calendar Monday mornings for the next upcoming one, and you will be able to see our info sessions that we have coming up. And you're able to pop in the room and be able to get your questions answered and um, figure out how EI Ready can be embedded in your organization. And overall, I want to say thank you for being here. This was one of my most favorite sessions to teach, as you can tell, because I know so many of you are carrying a vision within your organization that deserves to win and that deserves to be heard. But I just want you to remember vision is powerful, but emotional intelligence, that's what make it that's what makes it sustainable, right? And until next time, lead with heart, scale with strategy, and stay emotionally intelligent. Bye for now.